Hey everyone, this is Jeff from Metal Guy Reacts, back to bring you another reaction video. Today I'm going to be listening to BTS Crash Course 2020, History and Music of a World Sensation. This came highly recommended by a number of my subscribers and especially people that have been checking out my BTS videos. Soon here I'm going to be rounding back to listening to a few more of their tracks. Really loved what I listened to so far, but I had a lot of questions about the band actually. So a lot of my subs recommended this. I'm going to jump right in though because it is like 16 minutes long. So just want to check it all out and give some comments and ideas as we go along. But yeah, if you're not a subscriber already, please do subscribe right now. That helps so much. And let's jump into BTS Crash Course 2020.
BTS.
The biggest boy band in the world. In the world.
Hey guys, we're here with BTS.
BTS! Camped out in line for days because the Korean band BTS...
Camping out on this stage until BTS gets here.
2 nights at the Rose Bowl, highest grossing engagement in the venue's box score history.
Headlining Wembley Stadium, the first Korean band ever to sell out the landmark venue.
The hottest tickets on earth. Even more remarkable, considering most of their songs are not in English.
BTS also spoke at the UN. They made quite an impression.
The cover of Time magazine.
They've crossed over with the mainstream pop music here in America.
The Billboard Top Duo Group and Top Social Artist.
First group since the Beatles to earn 3 #1 albums in less than a year.
Jesus Christ, you guys are like freaking huge.
We love clouds.
Wow. Oh my God.
From your beat pan.
For people from my parents' country and stuff, it's hard for them to get big here. They barely can speak English, and you guys are like huge.
How did they... How? I think that's my main question.
So, my thing with them is I saw them from when they debuted. They were on my shows. I was interviewing them and
From the beginning?
From the beginning. They were these underdogs in the industry. Korea, K-pop is so competitive. You have hundreds of groups debut every year.
Wow.
And it's, maybe 1% is gonna stay around for a few years.
When BTS came on, they had maybe a few albums out and they hadn't really made it in Korea yet, or anywhere.
Tiny venues, and they were really just kind of cutting their teeth, I guess, just trying to figure out what their sound and what their image and their look was going to be. But it worked because they're amazing performers. And they stole the show.
Really?
Because their choreography and their charisma and the way they do things, people were like, is that magic? Like, what is going on? And from there, it was like this organic growth of people, like international fans saying like, these kids are so underappreciated.
How talented they were, the music that they do, the stories that they tell, and really had people latch on. And once that started to rise internationally, I think in Korea, they're like, oh, well, who are these?
This is actually really cool to see. I want to stop real quick, but this is interesting to see the top 20 K-pop artists and their overall total album sales. Again, this is giving me great insight already. I'm trying to keep up though. Like that's why I'm focused really hard because they are doing little captions on the bottom, but then also people are talking. So I'm trying to hear and read to make sure I'm gathering everything.
Guys, let's pay attention. And then they started taking over the world, and they're massive, as you all know. So.
그리고 좀 더 욕심을 보태보자면 대상을 한번. 아유, 왜? 아니 왜? 아무 말도 안 해. 아니 왜?
높을 생각을 하고 불안을 하잖아요. 그거 이상의 것을 생각도 못하고 상상도 못하던 것을 잃어버리는 거예요. 15층까지만 올라왔으면 좋겠다 하는데 뭐 한 20층까지 올라가면
Are you guys ever gonna come to Toronto? Like Canada? Oh yeah, we did it like last year. Oh, you did this year? Yeah. Okay. Well, when you come back next time, please, I'll host you. Please, come on. Congrats.
김치 엄청 크네. 드링크. 네.
너무 멋있다. 아, 되게 너무 멋있네.
Every moment, 모든 기억은 precious memory.
소중한 기억이다.
소중한 기억이다. 귀중한 기억이다. We're so happy that we can be a part of this with our friends. Every moment is a precious memory.
너한테 아미는 어떤 의미야?
Every moment is a precious memory. We're so happy that we can be a
You're so precious memory.
So, shout out to the BTS Army. What do you want them to know? Because they are everywhere.
팬들한테 하고 싶은 말 한 말 있나요? Come on.
Let's go.
Come on, let's go.
Every moment is a precious memory. We're so happy that we can be a part of this with our fans.
We're so happy that we can be a part of this with our fans.
I heard from a friend of mine that you guys like churros.
야 이거 장난 안 빼고.
Who doesn't like churros? Everybody likes churros. That was awesome. God, I can't imagine, especially as your career, having to learn another language. Like, that's awesome that they're... God, like, I have tried many times to learn Spanish, and it's difficult. It's difficult learning another language, especially as a young adult, even at their age. And I think most of them are in their early 20s. But it's not easy.
Number one trust in the world.
I know.
Yeah.
I was making a joke that they all had like sparkly microphones and I felt left out, and they gifted me my own sparkly mic.
이거 뭔데?
Grammy Awards.
I know you guys got to walk a little bit around the Grammy Museum. What'd you think about the Grammy Museum?
Awesome.
Love that.
이 그래미의 역사를 뭔가 한눈에 볼 수 있어서 너무 좋았었던 것 같아요.
Let.
네.
What is your favorite English word?
Hellenic. Graduation.
Do you think of K-pop as a genre?
그렇게 생각해요. 장르로서 접근한다기보다는 그냥 하나의 복합적인 컨텐츠로 접근을 하는 게 오히려 맞지 않나라는 생각이 들거든요. K-팝이라는 거를 이해하기 위해서는 음악도 음악이고 영상이면 영상, 의상이면 의상, 메이크업이면 메이크업, 뭐 이 모든 것들이 전부 다 이 한데 어울려져서 이게 시각적으로 또 청각적으로 들리는 이 보이는 것들이.
In my day, there was a band called The Who, and they created a whole album of songs that told a very specific story, from beginning, middle to end. And it strikes me that you guys are doing exactly the same thing in your own way.
And we talked about schools with 3 albums. And then we talked about youth with 3 albums. And then folks grow up, right? Folks grow up. They're like,
I hate to tell you, it happens.
Life is supposed to be very ironic and unstable. And in teenage years and in 20s, it's really more and more. Somebody doesn't love themselves, then they could love nobody. It was.
뭐 사실 저희 음악들은 음악마다 이 유기성이 굉장히 있어가지고 한 노래만 듣고서는 어떻게 보면 이 전체 스토리나 전체 주제라든지 앨범을 파악하기는 좀 힘들 수도 있다는 생각이 좀 많이 들어요.
Really liking this so far. I mean, I'm learning a lot, and I really am enjoying just getting the feel of what's going on with these guys.
나리는 꽃잎들 사이로 헤매어 달린 내 힘으로 Forever we are young 내 피땀 눈물 내 마지막 춤을 다 가져가 내 피땀 눈물 내 차가운 숨을 난 꽃이 떨어져요 멀어져요 보고 싶다 곳으로 가 Take my hands now You are the cause of my euphoria Just let me love you 영원히 함께니까 잠에서 낯설음 가득한 소리 위에서라면 난 아파도 강한 척할 수가 있었어 사랑이 사랑만이 너무 완벽하게 내 모든 요점들은 다 숨겨지길 이루어지지 않는 꿈 속에서 피할 수 없는 꽃을 키웠어 I'm so sick of this fake love fake love fake love 함께원 I should love in this world 빛나는 나를 소중한 내 영혼을 이제야 깨달아 가끔은 울고 있는 나 지금도 매분 매순 살아 숨쉬는 persona Who the hell am I? I just wanna go I just wanna fly I just wanna be your boy with love Oh my mind Oh my mind 내 high so fast 내 전부 함께 하고 싶어 Oh my mind Oh my mind Let's stay young forever together.
All right, so that was BTS Crash Course 2020, History and Music of a World Sensation. That was really, really good. That gave a great deal of insight into not only K-pop, but to BTS. I really, really appreciated this video, and many people did recommend listening to it. So I'm really glad that I did watching the video, because again, it broke down some really precise things that I liked about not only K-pop, but about the group. And one thing was, it was one of the interviews where one of the members of the group, and I'm absolutely have to watch the Who is BTS, the 7 members, because it's going to be much better once I, can read bios of everybody and, make sure I know, who's who and get everybody's names right. But one of the members of the group did say that K-pop is not necessarily just the music. K-pop is a mesh of things. K-pop is the music, but it's also the dance. It's also the, sort of the theatrical styling of it. It's also it's the dance, it's the music, it's the theatrical styling, it's the stories. There's a whole bunch of things that go into it, and I really, really appreciate that. And again, it was really nice to hear that, because it really shows that they're really making different themes with their not only their music, but with their performances. And from what I was reading, it looked like, as I was going through, they had like 3 sets of albums, or maybe 4 sets, that were 2 or 3 albums in each, and they encapsulated a time in their lives. And that's just so, so cool. And you got some backstory on where they came from and all that sort of great stuff. This was really, really good, and I think this is important for me to watch before continuing on with BTS reactions. Gives me a little more insight into the group themselves. I will be reacting to Who is BTS as well, probably before I go into more BTS reactions. Just want to make sure, again, that I've got a clear, concise idea of the group. Thank you so much for this recommendation. This was a really, really good video. Really, really helpful. And let me know what BTS songs I should be reacting to. Add them to the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that right now. It helps the channel grow so much. And I will catch you in my next reaction video.